this is Trisha and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to create two small floral arrangements that I need for my living room. I need one for on top of my mantle, so it can't be too high because I do have a TV on the wall. And then I need one for a side table next to my love seat. So let me show you where those spots are going to be. Alright, so this is the spot where I need one of my arrangements. I don't want it to be too big, so it's not going to be too wide. I already have an idea of that. Now I need an idea of the height because see this cord coming down from the TV on the wall? I need to hide that, so that's why I want something a little bit high here, not too high to cover, block the TV. So I'm going to go ahead and measure that space. Alright, I can see here that I've got about 16 inches of space for my height. And the other spot where I need an arrangement in this side table right here, so I need something right about here, something small for that little spot. Alright, so I have two containers here that I will be working with to create my two floral arrangements. I saw this one, I found it at Burlington. I thought it was really pretty, the little box with the little grasses in it, and I thought it would be perfect for on top of my mantle. It just doesn't have the height, so I'll be adding height to this. And here I have a empty vase or container here that I'll be creating the second arrangement for my side table. I happened to purchase this at TJ Maxx in case you're curious. Now, you guys, I recently had my interior walls painted in my living room, my kitchen, and in hallways and entryways. So everything I had it all done in one uniform color. Before I had a beautiful sunshiny yellow in my kitchen. I didn't want to get rid of that. I just wanted to freshen it up. But in the end, I decided that I wanted everything to be all one color. So we'd only buy just one color of paint. And I truly, truly love the color that we ended up with. But I still miss my yellow, and I have been loving yellow. I think last month I was in love with pinks. This month I'm going to yellow, but I've always liked yellow. So I have some flowers here that I purchased some time ago at Target. These are some large beautiful peonies. These are from Magnolia, I believe. Yeah, Hearth and Hand with Magnolia. And these were $5.99 each. Again, these were from Target. Now I have three of them. I think these will be perfect for this particular arrangement. Also from Target, from the same collection, are these really pretty. I don't know what they are, but look at that. They're beautiful. And does it say what they are? Oh, they're Cosmos. These were $4.99 a stem. I thought they were worth it. So I spent a good amount of money. I think I spent $18 here and another $10. So it was about $28 for just these flowers. But if you go purchase an arrangement already done, it's going to be way more than that. Okay, I also have some greenery here that I may use. I don't think I'm going to be using it in this particular arrangement, but I may use some in here. But that is all up on hold because I may use some of the grasses in here. We'll see. All right, for that second arrangement, I happen to have 3 leftover yellow roses. Yellow roses are my absolute favorite flower, along with a white daisy. So I'm going to be using these. These were from a bouquet of a little batch bouquet of these roses, and I've used some of them for another arrangement. These were left over, so I'm going to use them for this container. I want to create a little round arrangement, and to fill it in, I happen to find these little flowers. Do they say what they are? No, but they kind of look like little daisies. I bought these at a store called At Home. These I bought them at a local floral party shop called Floreria Lee. So if you're in the McAllen, Texas area, go to Floreria Lee and you'll find these little bundles of bouquets of flowers, every color and different flower forms. Anyway, I got this to fill it up, and then I also decided to add a little bit of lavender. I have this leftover stem. I don't recall where I got this. I may have gotten it at Hobby Lobby. I'm not really sure. But I'm going to use this color just to add something else to it so that it's not all too yellow. Alright, so let's get to crafting. Alright, so to create both of my arrangements, I'm going to be using my wire cutters, my hot glue, and for my other vase, I will be needing some styrofoam. So I have a block here ready. This one already has styrofoam inside, so obviously I don't need to prep it. I can just add some flowers straight into it. But I do want to remove some of the grass from the back and maybe just redistribute some that are in the center. Alright, so I don't think I mentioned, I think I paid $7.99. If not, I paid $9.99 for this little container. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is choose my first flower that will go right in the middle. And again, I need it to be 16 inches in height. So I'm just going to measure the actual flower and just cut it at 16. And I'll probably end up trimming it a little bit more because I won't be pushing it all the way down into the styrofoam. It'll probably just go down about that much. So that means I'll have that much extra stem that I might need to trim off. But I'm going to go ahead and cut all of them at that size. All right, so I've got these focal flowers already cut at the size that I want them. I'm not ready to trim these yet. But let's go ahead and remove some of these little grassy stems from the styrofoam. They're glued in, so I think I might have to do a little, oh, actually it came up very easily. All right, so I'm just going to pick and choose here and there. I'm not going to take any from the front out, just kind of from the middle and some in the back. So I just took out some from the center and a little bit from the back here, and I'll save these because I think I'm going to use them for my other arrangement. All right, so 16 inches is my height. I don't need it to go that deep, so I'm going to trim off some of the stem. And now I can go ahead and add some glue, stick it right in the middle, and push it down. I'm centering it according to the width, but I'm just going a little bit back on my arrangement to put in that rose. There we go. I'm going to measure this again to make sure that I do have 16 inches because I may have gone too low. Yes, I did. Let me go ahead and pull it back up a little bit before it dries. Right there. Measuring it, and it's about 16 inches. So that is good. So now I'll go ahead and do the other ones, and I'll go ahead and trim off about the same amount on the stems now that I know that that will work. And now I'll take these two flowers and glue them on each side, pushing them into the styrofoam. And I'm going to try and keep them about the same height. They can be a little bit lower, but I'll try not to go higher, all right? Always bend your flowers a little bit forward. These were already bent, so I don't have to do that. So I know that the height is okay, but make sure that you bend them a little bit before you actually cut them. All right, so they're all about the same height. The two on the side are not taller than the one in the middle, but about the same. All right, so now I can fill in with some of these. This looks absolutely beautiful the way it is, just simple like that. So I'm going to add some of these flowers anyway. Now I don't need to add both stems, but we'll see. I'm going to go ahead and cut these into individual stems like that. And there happens to be 3 on here. I'm going to compare them, and they all seem to be about the same size, so I don't need to do any picking of the longest stem. So I'm just going to grab one of them, and I'm going to put it right in front of this peony, but I'm going to make sure that I push it down so that it's actually in front of it and low, but not too low that it gets hidden in the grass. I'll do the same for the other 2 flowers. And there we go. This arrangement is complete. So let's do our second arrangement. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this piece of styrofoam. It is a block of styrofoam. There is a little bit of a corner that won't go in, but I'm just going to shove it right in. But first I need to add some glue at the bottom of my container. And I want to make sure that I put plenty of glue and work as fast as I can because the glue will start to get cold and harden. There we go. Any bits of styrofoam, throw them out. There we go. Now, if you wish, you can add some moss to cover the styrofoam. I'm just going to go ahead and work straight with what I have. I'm going to go ahead and start off with my focal flowers, these beautiful yellow roses. Yellow roses happen to be the state flower of Texas. I don't want them to be too high, so I'm going to go about that high, and so I know that I can go ahead and trim it around here. So I need enough to go into the styrofoam. And I'm going to bend it sideways a little bit. I want them to kind of go out of my container just a tad. But I'm going to go ahead and try to insert them somewhere in the center. I don't want them to go out too much. Just like that. Alright, so there's my flowers. Not too high in my container. They could actually go a little bit lower, which I'm going to go ahead and attempt to do that a little bit lower because they're a little too high for me. I think that's good. And because I moved it around a little bit, I kind of loosened up the styrofoam. So I'm just going to add some glue in there. Alright, so this is what I do when I am creating an arrangement, is I create a triangle of flowers, so a trio right here. Alright, so I would add my flowers next, but I want to see how much of this little grass is actually going to be needed inside of my arrangement. Will I need to use the ivy that I also showed you? So I'm going to start off with these by inserting them into my styrofoam. I'm going to put one in the middle, and then I'm going to push the other ones around the edges. Now I'm noticing that the plastic here where it was inserted into the other type of styrofoam, the plastic is really soft, but then that other styrofoam is really easy to puncture. This one is not. This is a harder styrofoam, so I have to do a little bit of muscle work to get those in there. So you'll see me kind of struggling a little bit to push them in. Alright, because I feel like I'm struggling too much to push this in, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little hole with a dowel, then add the glue in there. I'm actually going to trim the plastic on here a little bit because it is too flexible, too easy to bend. And now I can go ahead and push that right in there, and it's a little bit more snug. So that's what I'll do with the rest of these, is trim. And I'm trying to put one of these grasses on the side of each of the flowers. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue adding these other little grasses into the arrangement. Okay, so now I want to add these lavender looking flowers, and I went ahead and I cut them off this bush. I don't need this greenery, so I'm going to go ahead and discard it. I can use it on something else if I wish. I'm going to add these right between the roses, kind of coming out of the arrangement like that. Alright, so I'm really loving the simplicity of these two flowers. I'm going to think about this one just a moment. I'm going to go ahead and add some of the ivy greenery because I really want to cover the styrofoam that I can see here on the edges at the bottom. But I could easily remedy that if I just added some moss right in there. I could just tuck it right in. I just don't have any moss, so I'm going to go ahead and use some of that greenery. Alright, so I cut some bits of the greenery from that larger bush, and I'm just going to push these upward like that so that I have a cluster that's a little bit shorter, and then I can just trim this stem short enough so that it's just enough to go into the styrofoam. So right in between, right under this lavender colored flower, I'm going to add this, and that hides the styrofoam right there. So right underneath each of these, I'll add one else as well. Now you want to go ahead and when you push them up, you want to twist them around so that they're not all in the same, going in the same direction, but that they're fanned out. So just fan out your little greenery. All right, so now trim. Okay, so I only need to use 3 of the stems, and this filled it up really nicely on the edges. I could use 1 more in the middle, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use some of these little flowers. Now you may feel like this is enough and you don't need to add any more. I'm going to go ahead and add, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some really short ones, put them right underneath these roses so that I can also cover some of the styrofoam there. And just tuck them in like that. I'm doing the same thing that I did with the greenery. I'm pushing up, if I'm able to, the flowers and the the leaves. Okay, so I want another one to stick out the top and the center. This time, I don't want to cut it as short, so I'm going to cut a little bit longer stem here. And have that one coming out of the middle, but I did push all the flowers upward. I don't want them getting lost in there in the little grasses. And one of the little flowers came off, so I'm going to add some glue to that and stick it back onto the little stem that it came off of right here. There we go. And that is complete. All right, everyone, I have completed both of my arrangements. They were super easy to do, and I'm very happy with them. So here's the one that will go on my mantle with the little grasses. I will put them in their respective places and pan the camera around them so that you can see what they look like in their little space. But this is what they look like right here or right now. I just got to remove some of the webbing. All right, so I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up, and I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already done so. So hit that red subscribe button, and then also hit that little notification bell so that you get notified of when I upload my videos. And I try to do that twice a week. I hope that you all are enjoying yourselves and you enjoyed watching my video. Let me know what you thought of my project. So leave a kind comment down below, and don't forget to share on your social medias. You can also follow me on Facebook on Trisha's Creations, and then you can also post your comments on there as well. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your week, and as always, enjoy.